My name is Jonathan Simpson. I'm 24 years old and I've lived in Alberta all my life. I went to high school in Red Deer. I graduated from the University of Calgary in 2006. I am Albertan in so many ways, but I see a need for change. This is my community. A people racialized, ostracized, hated, and excluded, made up of those who are willing to speak out for the sake of those who are unable. Why does this community still exist? It is the year 2008. Are all communities treated equally? Do we all share equally in being Albertan? In being Canadian? Why can't we answer these questions without hesitating? I didn't begin to understand the way in which racism still exists in Canada until recently, when I was personally confronted by it. On the night of Saturday, February 16, 2008, I was denied admission to a popular Edmonton night spot because of the color of my skin. I watched as at least 4 other people of Asian appearance were systematically removed from various places in line. The only explanation we received from the establishment was that they had to play their cards right. I decided to inform the other patrons waiting in line about what was happening. They were sympathetic, but they did not step out of line. We called the police station that night to report the incident, but were informed by an officer that racial discrimination of that nature was not considered a criminal offense, and so was beyond police jurisdiction. Now, back in Calgary, I began my investigation on racism in Canada. I was directed by several sources to Dr. Darren Lund, a Calgary-born civil rights activist and professor of education at the University of Calgary. In your opinion, does racism still exist in Canada?
That's a good question. That a lot of people have an instant answer to it. Is no. We can stop talking about racism. There's no need for human rights commissions anymore. We've basically, people aren't getting discriminated against. So any problems people have now is because they're hypersensitive, or any problems people have is because they're looking for problems. So it's such a false notion. Like, we have this idea that Canada, because it's multicultural or because we have all these good policies in place, that we must have conquered it somehow.
But of course, we haven't conquered racism. According to a recent analysis of a 2002 Stats Canada survey, 42% of all visible minority, second-generation Canadians report experiencing racial discrimination. This number, of course, does not include unreported cases.
But it's so invisible and below the surface in Canada that it's very hard to put a finger on it. But in fact, those of us who study it can see it all the time, and talking to people, like you say, at the nightclubs, that's just one little sliver of where it's happening.
As it turns out, my experience at the nightclub is just the tip of the iceberg, a small clue to a larger societal reality, a reality that I want to change. With the help of Alberta Credit Unions, I hope to make a 30-minute documentary movie about racism in Alberta.
A documentary about racism in Alberta, not in the States, not in Ontario.
I want to take a closer look at Alberta's history of diversity issues. I want to talk to various experts in various fields, including economists, political scientists, and historians. It will serve as a critical examination of Alberta's pro-diversity policies. The video could be used as an educational tool for Albertan students. Because of its local context, it would be hard to ignore. There are many challenges other than racism facing young Albertans today, but those challenges are best met together. With your support, I aim to fuel diversity, to build a stronger community for all of us. I love this province enough to change it.